guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you cannot tell from the title, welcome to episode 2 of my makeup series for beginners. I'm so excited. I hope you all are, and I will definitely try to keep this energy up throughout the course of these videos. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you know when I upload. But anyway, I do just want to go ahead and give you all a disclaimer. I thought this video would be very valuable to any of you beginners who are out there trying to start your makeup kit, and also just trying to figure out what to buy as far as brushes are concerned, and just makeup in general, right? So what brushes are used for what? Do I need this? Do I not need that? You know, you can kind of tailor it to what you're looking for. But anyway, I think I've pretty much, you know, gotten down all the brushes that I like to use. I know how to use them, you know, and they work with my technique. So I did want to go ahead and share that with you all. And so if you all are interested in what brushes I'm using, then definitely stay tuned. Alright, so I do want to give you all a disclaimer up front. Most of my brushes are going to be from Morphe or e.l.f. and then there may be just a few others sprinkled in and out, but I have done like a deep clean and gotten rid of all the brushes that I'm no longer using, and kind of just narrowed it down to what I like and what I know that works. And so also when I go through the brushes, I'll be explaining them and, you know, going in the flow in which I apply my makeup. And so if you all are not new to my channel, you all know that I apply my brows first. So let's go ahead and get into those two brushes. So with brows, because tapered brows are in, they've been in, and they're just not going anywhere, you want to make sure that you get a nice you know, either flat edged or angled brush that will allow you to, you know, carve out that perfect brow when you apply the concealer at the bottom. You know, you don't want any mistakes, and for example, that's just the area that a fluffy brush just is not going to work. So my favorite brush right now in the meantime is this Morphe E29 brush. And so with that being said, this is an angled brush, as you can see here at the top, and it's double-sided as well. It has a spoolie at the bottom, and so that's very convenient. I like to, you know, brush through my brows initially, and then I like to apply my concealer under my brow, and then I'll go in, you know, with this little brush and just kind of clean up and drag that product down so it can be blended out later on. And again, this is the Morphe E29 brush. Another brush that does the same job is the Morphe 432. This is not double-sided, but as you can see, it does have a nice flat edge, and so you can use this to carve out, you know, that brow as well and kind of pull that concealer downwards. And again, this is the Morphe 432. So if I'm wearing a makeup look for that day, I like to go straight in and complete my eyeshadow just in case there's any fallout, and it allows me to just clean up and apply, you know, my base and my foundation more, you know, effortlessly. And so with that being said, there's going to be a few brushes that I use for different things, and I'm going to be sharing that with you all right now. And so the first thing that I want to bring up is definitely a fluffy brush. So for me, when I apply eyeshadow, I like to make sure that I have a transition color, no matter what the eyeshadow look is going to be. You can also, you know, use this brush to apply bronzer, you know, to your eyelids as well. So one of my favorite brushes by Morphe is the Morphe 504, and it is just literally a fluffy brush. And so that's perfect to apply just above the crease but below the brow. And so next, what I like to go in with, typically if I'm doing, you know, like I said, a cute eyeshadow look, I like to get a brush and go directly into my crease. So I prefer this brush and this brush size just because, you know, I've gotten to know my eyes, I have hooded lids, and I just kind of know what works for me at this point. And so next, I do like to go in with the Morphe 505, and it's just a little more tapered, you know, but still nice and fluffy. And so I do like to go in with my crease on this one, and also I like to keep this brush handy just because whenever I go back and my eyeshadow look is completed, sometimes you can lose the color, and so I like to go back in and ensure that I can, you know, put that color back just so it's more, you know, visible. But also if there are any harsh lines, I like to use this brush to kind of buff everything out and make sure everything flows nicely together. Next, in the eyeshadow process, I like to go in with a brush similar to the Morphe 453, and as you can see, this brush is just a little more tapered, it's a little smaller, and so I think for me this brush is perfect if I want to apply color on my lid only, but in that outer V. It gives it a nice buffed out look, so I really like to use that brush for that. And again, this is the Morphe 453. And so next, we're still not through with the eyes, but brushes that I like to go in with are also flat, not so flat to be good for applying concealer, but flat enough to just apply color to my lid. As you all know, I don't have a lot of lid space, and so don't forget that in this process you can utilize the pads of your fingers as well. Usually I like to use my middle finger to apply shimmers and, you know, colors of that nature that the brush just really don't pick up that much. But yeah, so just don't forget that your fingers are also a tool. But with that being said, this is just kind of like a more, you know, flat brush. It's not as fluffy, and if I turn it to the side, you can see that it's fairly thin. And so this brush is actually a Smashbox brush, and I'm pretty sure it came in an eyeshadow palette. And then this is another brush that I think purchased from Amazon in a set, but as you can see, this is nice and flat, and so I really like that to apply eyeshadow directly to my lid. Okay, so last but not least for the eyes, I do want to show you all the brushes that I use when I apply eyeshadow to my bottom lash line. And so typically you've probably heard that referred to as like a smudging brush, and so that's what I like to use to apply that on my bottom lash line, and literally it just brings the eyeshadow look all the way together. And so the first brush that I want to talk about is this Makeup Geek brush, and this is called a pencil brush, and I probably purchased this, gosh, when I first started doing makeup in I think 2017. And so as you can see, it just has like a little nice domed brush, and it's tiny and it's quite dense, and so I really like that. And so super easy to apply to your lower lash line, especially if you don't like a lot of color under your lash line. But if you're feeling ballsy that day and you want, you know, a lot of color under that lash line, then I go in with this Makeup Geek brush, and this is actually an outer V brush, but I find that because it's a little bit thicker, it picks up a little more, you know, color and kind of covers a little bit more of that lower lash line. This too is nice and dense, and so yeah, just keep that in mind, that just because brushes are you know, designated for certain things, when they come out with the brands, you can use the brushes for whatever you need to utilize them from. There are no rules in makeup, and so use however, you know, use the brushes however you need to. Literally do what works for you. Alright, so now that we're done with the eyes, we're gonna move on to the face of brushes. And so I have since moved on from beauty blenders. I find that they just take, you know, a little bit longer than I'm trying to spend blending out to foundation, but also I just find that brushes work a little bit better. And so my two go-to brushes include this huge this is a Sephora Pro Domed Foundation brush, and it's in the number 78. And so if you cannot see, it's nice and thick, and it's so dense. And so this is perfect because for foundation, you don't want to drag the brush because it'll make your foundation kind of streaky. And so you want something like this that's nice and dense and packed in, so you can apply your foundation like this versus, you know, moving it around. You can, you know, pat, and use like nice circular motions. And then the second brush, and you probably are going to be surprised, but I know you've seen me use it if you're not new to my channel, but this little tiny brush came in a Sephora VIB bag. I think it was a freebie, gosh, a few years ago. But this brush is so perfect to travel with, and when I say you can use this brush for everything, literally you can use this brush for everything. And so this brush is actually the Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush. And y'all, it's so tiny. This is literally what it looks like. And so it's not as dense as the, you know, brush I just showed you, but it's dense enough to make sure that that foundation stays where, you know, it needs to stay, and that it's not moving around. But if I could choose one brush in my makeup collection to, you know, take with or travel with to get everything done, I would say this one. It's a nice, you know, multi-purpose brush, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. All right, so now I'm going to talk about beauty blenders. While I don't use beauty blenders to apply my foundation anymore, I do like to use beauty blenders for other purposes, and that primary purpose is number one, to apply my concealer under my eye, and you know, because it just allows me to keep it a little bit more controlled. But also I just like to fix any mistakes and kind of blend out anything that's a little harsh. And so my favorite beauty blender is by Sonia Kashuk, and you can purchase these at Target. And so these little ones like this come in a packet of 5 or 3, but this is perfect for me to get under my eye and move that concealer around, but it allows me to stay nice and controlled as well. And then of course, let's not forget a big beauty blender. And so if you have any mistakes, you can definitely use this to clean everything up. And I usually like to use this to clean up any mistakes that I make if I'm cream contouring, or if I've placed my bronzer, you know, in a bad spot and it's moving around or it's looking muddy and I kind of need to fix it. So this is perfect for that. And this one has kind of like a flat butt, as you can see, and so that's perfect to just kind of, you know, blend everything out and make sure everything is nice and tapered. And so with that being said, I also use this at the end once I get ready to set my makeup. So I like to apply, you know, my setting spray, then I go in with my blender and just kind of set everything and just make sure everything is nice and melted. This is also by Sonia Kashuk, and so you can purchase this at Target as well. So if a beauty blender had a brush twin, it would be this brush. And this brush is by e.l.f. It is actually the foundation blurring brush. So I have used this brush for, you know, applying foundation as well, and it does great. But if you struggle with applying contour and your bronzer and just trying to, you know, get it placed the right way, or if you're still trying to figure that out and you make a lot of mistakes and you just don't know what to do with that contour you just applied, especially cream contour, this brush will save the day. This brush will save the day. This brush will save the day. So don't forget that. But yeah, so again, this is the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. And so if you're looking for something to blend out that harsh contour, to fix any mistakes, to even set with, you can even use this to set your powder with, definitely pick up this brush. So of course we're still focused on the face, but as I just mentioned, you can use that to set your face. I like to go in with a fluffy brush to set my face, just because I always bronze, so I know I'm going to be putting a little bit extra powder on there. So I like to go in with this beautiful pink, oh my goodness, brush by e.l.f. and this is actually a powder brush, so I actually use this brush for what it's made for. And if you can't see, it's nice and fluffy, and this is the 201, and actually I said this is an e.l.f. brush. That's not right. This is a Real Techniques brush. This is by Real Techniques, and I love this brush. I love this brush so much. And if y'all can't tell, I did wash my brushes for this video, so I need a thumbs up. Thank you very much. But anyway, yes, this is the powder brush by Real Techniques, and it is in the number 201, and you can buy this at Walmart, Target, Ulta, anywhere. But I love it. The brush is great quality, so I definitely think, you know, it's worth the investment. All right, so next we're going to be getting into the brushes that I use to set my contour and or bronze. I'm more of a bronzer. I don't really cream contour too much unless, you know, I'm going to like an event and I need something to pop. But we're wearing masks, so I don't know what's gonna be popping. It's gonna be all under the mask. But nonetheless, I do like to go in with this fluffy white brush, and this is actually by Wet n Wild. I think I got it in a gift set. I can't tell you where the other brushes are, but nonetheless, this is what it looks like. And so while it is a fluffy brush, it's not too fluffy, and so it allows me to apply my bronzer in, you know, a somewhat controlled fashion. You know, as you can see, it's just a little tapered upwards, and so I like to use this side of the brush and just apply upwards, and it, you know, keeps it from kind of going everywhere. But again, this is just a Wet n Wild brush, and it doesn't have a name or number on it, but this is what it looks like, and I got it in a gift set a few years ago. And so next, a brush that's really good for, you know, applying your bronzer as well is this e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. And like I said, e.l.f. has some nice, you know, brushes, and so this is a little dense not as dense as you want your foundation brush to be, but you know, it's dense enough to apply that bronzer in a controlled fashion. And so this is what that brush looks like. And again, this is the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. And last but not least, let's talk about the brushes that I use to apply my highlight. So, you know, a few years ago, highlighter used to be crazy, used to be OD, you know, and those little fan brushes were really popular because they could just hit the cheekbone perfectly. So I tried those, but they're nice and convenient, but for whatever reason, I just didn't really take a liking to them. And so the brushes that I personally recommend is probably this Morphe 438. I find myself gravitating towards this one, you know, more often than not. And so it's just kind of, you know, all of them are, you know, essentially dome shaped, but this one's just a little bit more tapered and a little bit more narrow, and so you can just hit your cheekbone, you know, easily, just like that, just using the top of it. And again, that is the Morphe 438 brush. And then another brush, if you just want, you know, a little bit more highlight kind of dispersed, you know, outside of your cheekbone, then I do like to go in with this Morphe 536, and it's just a little bit thicker, you know, and so it allows you to control it as well. And I would say this one's a little bit more dense than a previous one I just showed, but you would still apply in the same way. So here on your cheekbones, and then just, you know, under your brow a little bit, and you could take it down the bridge of your nose and on your cupid's bow. All right, y'all, so just like that, that's literally the end of the brush essentials video. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications, and until next time, I'll see y'all on episode 3. Bye, guys.